When that day eventually came, the evening portion of that day was still considered a day. Not a new day, but the same day. The preparation day really should be known as the preparation night, because it's the day. Let's go back here so people don't get too confused. It's very simple though, to be fair. Try to make it as easy as possible. So you have, this is still a day. 12 here, 12 here. 12 plus 12 is 24. So the preparation day really should be called preparation night. You have this nighttime hour to the morning to prepare for the Sabbath. We're going to see as we go through. Then we have the Feast of Weeks, but it's commonly called Pentecost. You have the Feast of Weeks. Then you have trumpets, Day of Atonement, and tabernacles. So let's get into this one. The Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation, that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day. For that Sabbath day was a high day. Besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. Question: what is a high day? Why is that being emphasized? Why is it saying it's a high day? Were they smoking? Like, what? High day? Like, yo, come on. So, it's making a distinction that this wasn't your normal Sabbath. This was a high Sabbath. This was a Sabbath of a feast. Yes, some feast days were known as Sabbaths. You had the weekly, cyclical. Alright, so getting back to what I was saying. Organically, we are biochemical machines, and our frequency, when I say frequency, don't get triggered, yeah, but I'm just saying our rhythm is set with the birds. When the birds rise, that's why it said the early bird catches the worm. Solomon always used to point us to nature and say, have you considered the ant? Have you considered these creatures? But when it gets to a certain time, your pineal gland releases a chemical called melatonin. Melatonin acts like a sedative, pretty much like chamomile tea, and it induces you to sleep. And what I was saying is, many of us will go to sleep a lot earlier, potentially, if we weren't inundated with artificial lighting, blue screens, and stuff like that. Because of all this artificial lighting, it messes with the body clock. This is why people are angry, they can't sleep for long. They have insomnia, all that kind of stuff. But let's go back to this. Let's break this down. So, it says here, John 19:31, we just realized that it says it was a high day. Now, when you go to Leviticus 23:5-8, It says, in the 14th day of the first month, at even is Yahuwah's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahuwah. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. So, immediately after Passover is another convocation, and this is known as the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Now, Yahushua, he was buried before what? Let's find out. There laid they Yahushua, therefore, because of the Jews' preparation day, for the sepulchre was nigh at hand. So they buried him so they could do they were preparing for the Passover in the daytime, but they didn't want this crucifixion to impede the Passover celebration at evening. So it was pertinent. They wanted to rush it so that it didn't carry across. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Try to make this as basic as possible. Glory to the Most High.
Suddenly shall they be wounded, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And it came to pass, when Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, Ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. But they said, Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The Master saith, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12, and as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth, as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed! It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it, and brake it, and gave it to the disciples, and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup, and gave thanks, and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. And when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways. by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of.
Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.